True wealth isn't just about material possessions, it's about living a life of purpose, contentment, and generosity. Imagine a life where financial struggles are a thing of the past, where abundance flows freely, and where you can fulfill your dreams and help others achieve theirs. This isn't just a fantasy, it's a promise found within the pages of the Bible. The scriptures are filled with wisdom and guidance on how to break free from the chains of poverty and step into a life of prosperity. As we reflect on these verses, I encourage you to apply their principles in your daily life. Learn from the true life stories and testimonies of those who have gained riches through these verse after due application as explained. And only then can you unlock the blessings and abundance that God has in store for you. Remember, the Bible isn't just a spiritual guide, it's a comprehensive manual for living a fulfilling life, including financial success. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, God's Word provides timeless principles that can transform your financial situation. Whether you're struggling with debt, seeking to grow your wealth, or looking to use your resources wisely, the Bible has all the answers you seek for. Only a few are ready to go through this teaching till the end. We will dive deep into the 15 powerful Bible verses that have the potential to change your financial destiny. I must tell you, these verses offer not only spiritual insights but also practical steps to move you from poverty to prosperity. Please, if this message resonates with you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share this message to help build our faith for riches through the application of biblical principles for wealth. Let's embark on this journey together and discover the divine wisdom that can lead you to a life of abundance. 1. Proverbs 10 verse 4. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10 verse 4 is a powerful reminder of the direct correlation between our efforts and our financial outcomes. The verse contrasts two types of people, those with lazy hands and those with diligent hands. The term lazy hands refers to individuals who avoid work, procrastinate, or lack motivation. This laziness leads to poverty because it prevents them from taking the necessary actions to improve their financial situation. On the other hand, diligent hands symbolize hard work, perseverance, and a proactive attitude. Those who are diligent in their efforts are more likely to achieve wealth and success because they consistently put in the effort required to reach their goals. Practical application: the importance of hard work and diligence. The practical application of this verse is clear. Hard work and diligence are essential for financial success. Here are a few ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Set clear goals. Define what you want to achieve financially and create a plan to reach those goals. Break down your plan into manageable steps and stay committed to following through. 2. Develop a strong work ethic. Cultivate habits that promote productivity and efficiency. This includes managing your time wisely, staying organized, and maintaining a positive attitude towards work. 3. Continuous learning. Invest in your personal and professional development. Acquire new skills, seek out opportunities for growth, and stay updated with industry trends. 4. Perseverance. Understand that success doesn't come overnight. Be prepared to face challenges and setbacks, but remain persistent and keep pushing forward. 5. Accountability. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who can hold you accountable and encourage you to stay on track with your goals. Here is a true life story. A personal testimony of someone who transformed their life through hard work. Meet John, a man who once struggled with financial instability. John grew up in a low-income household and faced numerous challenges throughout his life. Despite his circumstances, he was determined to break free from the cycle of poverty. John started by setting clear financial goals for himself. He knew he wanted to provide a better life for his family and achieve financial independence. With this vision in mind, he began to work diligently towards his goals. He took on multiple jobs, often working long hours to make ends meet. In addition to his hard work, John invested in his education. He enrolled in night classes to gain new skills and improve his qualifications. This dedication paid off when he landed a better-paying job in his field of interest. But John didn't stop there. He continued to seek out opportunities for growth and advancement. Over the years, John's hard work and perseverance began to bear fruit. He was able to save money, pay off debts, and eventually start his own business. His business thrived, and he was able to provide a comfortable life for his family. John's story is a testament to the power of diligence and hard work. By applying the principles of Proverbs 10 verse 4, he transformed his life from one of poverty to one of prosperity. John's journey wasn't easy, but his unwavering commitment to his goals and his diligent efforts made all the difference. His story serves as an inspiration to others, showing that with hard work and perseverance, it is possible to overcome financial challenges and achieve success. 2. Proverbs 13 verse 11. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Proverbs 13 verse 11 highlights the contrast between wealth obtained through dishonest means and wealth accumulated gradually through honest work. The verse warns that money gained dishonestly will not last, it will eventually diminish and lead to ruin. In contrast, wealth gathered little by little, through consistent and honest efforts, will grow and endure. This principle emphasizes the importance of integrity and patience in financial matters. It teaches that true and lasting wealth is built over time through hard work and ethical practices. Practical application: the value of honest work and gradual wealth accumulation. The practical application of this verse is to prioritize honesty and patience in your financial endeavors. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Commit to integrity. Make a conscious decision to earn money through honest and ethical means. Avoid shortcuts, scams, or any form of dishonesty that may promise quick gains but ultimately lead to loss. 2. Embrace patience. Understand that building wealth is a gradual process. Be patient and stay committed to your financial goals, even if progress seems slow. Trust that consistent efforts will yield results over time. 3. Save and invest wisely. Develop a habit of saving a portion of your income regularly. Look for opportunities to invest your savings in ways that align with your values and long-term goals. Compound interest and wise investments can significantly grow your wealth over time. 4. Avoid get-rich-quick schemes. Be wary of schemes that promise quick and easy money. These often involve high risks and can lead to financial ruin. Instead, focus on sustainable and reliable methods of wealth accumulation. 5. Celebrate small wins. Recognize and celebrate the small milestones you achieve on your financial journey. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your ultimate goals. A story is a real-life example of someone who built wealth honestly over time. Meet Sarah, a woman who exemplifies the principles of Proverbs 13 verse 11. Sarah grew up in a modest household and learned the value of hard work and honesty from a young age. After graduating from college, she started her career in a low-paying entry-level job. Despite the modest income, Sarah was determined to build a secure financial future. Sarah committed to living within her means and saving a portion of her income each month. She avoided debt and made a conscious effort to spend wisely. Over time, she began to invest her savings in a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds. She also took advantage of employer-sponsored retirement plans and contributed regularly. Sarah's journey wasn't without challenges. There were times when her investments didn't perform as expected, and she faced financial setbacks. However, she remained patient and continued to follow her plan. She sought advice from financial experts, educated herself about personal finance, and made informed decisions. Years of consistent saving, investing, and living frugally began to pay off. Sarah's wealth grew steadily, and she was able to achieve financial independence. She eventually started her own business, which became successful due to her strong work ethic and commitment to integrity. Sarah's story is a testament to the power of honest work and gradual wealth accumulation. By adhering to the principles of Proverbs 13 verse 11, she built a secure and prosperous future for herself. Her journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that with patience, integrity, and consistent effort, it is possible to achieve lasting financial success. 3. Proverbs 22 verse 7. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22 verse 7 presents a stark reality about the dynamics of wealth and debt. The verse highlights that those who possess wealth often hold significant power over those who do not. This power dynamic is particularly evident in the relationship between lenders and borrowers. When someone borrows money, they enter into a form of servitude to the lender, as they are obligated to repay the debt, often with interest. This dependency can limit the borrower's freedom and financial autonomy. This verse serves as a caution against the perils of debt and underscores the importance of striving for financial independence. Practical application: the dangers of debt and the importance of financial independence. The practical application of this verse is to recognize the risks associated with debt and to prioritize financial independence. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Avoid unnecessary debt. Be cautious about taking on debt, especially for non-essential items. Evaluate whether the purchase is necessary and if you can afford it without borrowing. 2. Create a budget. Develop a budget to manage your finances effectively. Track your income and expenses to ensure you live within your means and avoid overspending. 3. Build an emergency fund. Save a portion of your income to create an emergency fund. This fund can help you cover unexpected expenses without resorting to borrowing. 4. Pay off existing debt. If you have existing debt, create a plan to pay it off as quickly as possible. Focus on high-interest debt first, as it can accumulate rapidly and become more burdensome. 5. Seek financial education. Educate yourself about personal finance and money management. Understanding how to manage your finances can help you make informed decisions and avoid falling into debt. A truly story of a cautionary tale of someone who overcame debt. Meet David, a man who found himself trapped in a cycle of debt. David had always dreamed of owning a home, and when he found the perfect house, he decided to take out a large mortgage to make his dream a reality. However, he didn't fully consider the long-term implications of this decision. As the years went by, David's financial situation became increasingly strained. He struggled to keep up with the mortgage payments, and the interest on his loan continued to accumulate. To make matters worse, he began using credit cards to cover everyday expenses, leading to even more debt. David's financial stress took a toll on his health and relationships. He felt overwhelmed and trapped, unable to see a way out of his predicament. One day, a close friend introduced him to the principles of financial independence and the dangers of debt, as outlined in Proverbs 22 verse 7. Determined to regain control of his finances, David took immediate action. He created a strict budget and cut back on unnecessary expenses. He also sought the help of a financial advisor to develop a debt repayment plan. David focused on paying off his high-interest credit card debt first, followed by his mortgage. It wasn't an easy journey, but David's diligence and commitment paid off. Over time, he managed to pay off his debts and build an emergency fund. He also learned to live within his means and prioritize saving for the future. David's story is a powerful reminder of the importance of financial independence and the dangers of debt. By applying the wisdom of Proverbs 22 verse 7, he was able to break free from the chains of debt and achieve financial stability. 4. Proverbs 28 verse 19. Those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies will have their fill of poverty. Proverbs 28 verse 19 emphasizes the importance of diligent labor and realistic goals. The verse uses the metaphor of working the land to illustrate the value of consistent effort and practical action. Those who work their land refers to individuals who focus on their responsibilities and put in the necessary work to achieve their goals. As a result, they will have abundant food, symbolizing prosperity and success. In contrast, those who chase fantasies are individuals who pursue unrealistic or impractical dreams without putting in the required effort. This behavior leads to poverty because it lacks the foundation of hard work and realistic planning. Practical application. The rewards of diligent labor and realistic goals. The practical application of this verse is to prioritize diligent labor and set realistic goals. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Focus on your strengths. Identify your skills and talents, and focus on developing them. Use your strengths to create opportunities for growth and success. 2. Set achievable goals. Establish clear, realistic goals that are attainable through hard work and dedication. Break down your goals into smaller, manageable steps and create a plan to achieve them. 3. Stay committed. Consistency is key to success. Stay committed to your goals and put in the necessary effort, even when progress seems slow or challenges arise. 4. Avoid distractions. Be mindful of distractions and avoid chasing unrealistic dreams that divert your attention from your primary goals. Stay focused on what is practical and achievable. 5. Celebrate progress. Recognize and celebrate your achievements along the way. Acknowledge the progress you make, no matter how small, as it motivates you to keep moving forward. A story of an inspiring story of someone who achieved success through hard work. Meet Maria, a woman who transformed her life through diligent labor and realistic goals. Maria grew up in a rural village where opportunities were limited. Despite the challenges, she was determined to create a better future for herself and her family. Maria started by identifying her strengths and passions. She had a natural talent for farming and a deep understanding of the land. With this knowledge, she decided to focus on agriculture as a means to achieve her goals. Maria set realistic goals for herself, starting with improving the productivity of her small farm. She worked tirelessly, waking up early each morning to tend to her crops and livestock. Maria invested in learning new farming techniques and sought advice from experienced farmers. Her dedication and hard work began to pay off as her farm's productivity increased. Over time, Maria's farm flourished, and she was able to provide abundant food for her family and sell the surplus at the local market. Her success didn't stop there. She reinvested her earnings into expanding her farm and diversifying her crops. Maria's realistic goals and diligent labor transformed her small farm into a thriving agricultural business. Maria's story is a testament to the power of hard work and realistic goals. By focusing on her strengths and staying committed to her vision, she achieved success and prosperity. Her journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that with diligence and practical planning, it is possible to overcome challenges and achieve your dreams. 5. Proverbs 28 verse 20. A faithful person will be richly blessed, but one eager to get rich will not go unpunished. Proverbs 28 verse 20 contrasts two types of individuals: those who are faithful and those who are eager to get rich quickly. A faithful person is someone who consistently demonstrates loyalty, integrity, and trustworthiness in their actions. Such individuals are richly blessed because their steadfastness and ethical behavior lead to long-term success and divine favor. On the other hand, those who are eager to get rich often resort to unethical or hasty methods to achieve wealth. This impatience and lack of integrity result in negative consequences, as they will not go unpunished. The verse underscores the value of faithfulness and integrity over the pursuit of quick riches. Practical application. The importance of faithfulness and integrity. The practical application of this verse is to prioritize faithfulness and integrity in all aspects of life, especially in financial matters. Here are some ways to apply this principle. 1. Commit to ethical practices. Make a conscious decision to conduct all your financial dealings with honesty and integrity. Avoid shortcuts or unethical methods that may promise quick gains but compromise your values. 2. Be patient. Understand that true success and wealth are built over time through consistent and ethical efforts. Avoid the temptation to seek quick riches, and trust that your faithfulness will be rewarded in the long run. 3. Build trust. Cultivate a reputation for reliability and trustworthiness. Whether in personal relationships or professional settings, being known as someone who is faithful and dependable can open doors to opportunities and blessings. 4. Stay true to your values. In the face of challenges or temptations, remain steadfast in your commitment to integrity. Remember that short-term gains achieved through unethical means can lead to long-term consequences. 5. Seek divine guidance. Regularly seek God's guidance in your financial decisions. Pray for wisdom and discernment to make choices that align with His principles and lead to lasting blessings. Another story of a testimony of someone who prioritized integrity over quick riches. Meet James, a man who faced a significant moral dilemma early in his career. James worked for a large corporation and was presented with an opportunity to make a substantial amount of money quickly. A colleague approached him with a scheme that involved manipulating financial records to inflate profits. The plan promised quick riches, but it required James to compromise his integrity. Despite the allure of immediate wealth, James remembered the teachings of Proverbs 28 verse 20 and chose to prioritize his faithfulness and integrity. He declined the offer and reported the scheme to his superiors. This decision was not without consequences. James faced backlash from his colleague and even risked losing his job. However, James's commitment to integrity did not go unnoticed. His superiors recognized his honesty and promoted him to a higher position within the company. Over time, James's reputation for reliability and trustworthiness led to further career advancements and financial success. He was richly blessed, not only with material wealth but also with the respect and admiration of his peers. James's story is a powerful testament to the importance of faithfulness and integrity. By choosing to do what was right, even when it was difficult, he experienced long-term blessings and success. His journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that prioritizing integrity over quick riches leads to true and lasting prosperity. 6. Ecclesiastes 5 verse 10. Whoever loves money never has enough, whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. Ecclesiastes 5 verse 10 offers a profound insight into the nature of human desires and the pursuit of wealth. The verse highlights the insatiable nature of those who love money and wealth. It suggests that no matter how much money or wealth one accumulates, it will never be enough to satisfy their desires. This relentless pursuit of more leads to a sense of emptiness and meaninglessness. The verse serves as a warning against placing too much value on material wealth, as it cannot provide true fulfillment or contentment. Practical application. Finding contentment beyond material wealth. The practical application of this verse is to seek contentment and fulfillment beyond material wealth. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Cultivate gratitude. Focus on the blessings you already have and practice gratitude daily. Recognizing and appreciating what you have can help shift your focus from what you lack to what you possess. 2. Pursue meaningful goals. Set goals that align with your values and passions, rather than solely focusing on financial gain. Pursuing meaningful and purposeful goals can bring a deeper sense of satisfaction. 3. Build relationships. Invest in building strong and meaningful relationships with family, friends, and community. These connections can provide emotional support and fulfillment that money cannot buy. 4. Give generously. Practice generosity by giving to those in need and supporting causes that matter to you. Acts of kindness and generosity can bring a sense of joy and purpose. 5. Seek spiritual fulfillment. Spend time in prayer, meditation, and studying the Scriptures. Developing a deeper relationship with God can provide a sense of peace and contentment that transcends material wealth. A story of a reflection on the emptiness of pursuing wealth for its own sake. Meet Robert, a successful businessman who seemed to have it all: wealth, luxury, and status. Robert's life was a testament to the relentless pursuit of financial success. He worked tirelessly, often sacrificing time with his family and personal well-being to climb the corporate ladder and amass a fortune. Despite his financial achievements, Robert felt a deep sense of emptiness. No matter how much money he made, it never seemed to be enough. He constantly sought more, believing that the next milestone or acquisition would bring him the satisfaction he craved. However, each new achievement only left him yearning for more, and the cycle continued. One day, Robert had a conversation with an old friend who had chosen a different path. His friend lived a modest life, focusing on meaningful work, family, and community service. Despite having far less material wealth, his friend radiated a sense of contentment and joy that Robert envied. This encounter prompted Robert to reflect on his own life and the true source of fulfillment. He realized that his relentless pursuit of wealth had led him to neglect the things that truly mattered: relationships, purpose, and spiritual growth. Determined to make a change, Robert began to shift his focus. He started by spending more time with his family and building stronger connections with his loved ones. He also began to give generously to charitable causes and invest in his community. Robert found joy in helping others and making a positive impact. Additionally, he sought spiritual fulfillment by deepening his relationship with God through prayer and scripture study. Over time, Robert experienced a profound transformation. He discovered that true contentment and fulfillment came not from accumulating wealth but from living a life of purpose, gratitude, and generosity. His story serves as a powerful reminder of the emptiness of pursuing wealth for its own sake and the importance of finding contentment beyond material possessions. 7. Proverbs 11 verse 28. Those who trust in their riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. Proverbs 11 verse 28 contrasts two types of people: those who place their trust in material wealth and those who live righteously. The verse warns that trusting in riches is a precarious foundation. Wealth can be fleeting and unreliable, leading to downfall when it becomes the primary source of security. In contrast, the righteous, those who live according to God's principles, are likened to a thriving green leaf. This imagery suggests vitality, growth, and stability. The verse underscores the importance of placing trust in God rather than in material possessions. Practical application. Trusting in God rather than wealth. The practical application of this verse is to prioritize trust in God over reliance on material wealth. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Seek spiritual growth. Focus on developing a deeper relationship with God through prayer, meditation, and studying the Scriptures. Spiritual growth provides a stable foundation that material wealth cannot offer. 2. Practice generosity. Use your resources to help others and support charitable causes. Generosity reflects trust in God's provision and shifts the focus from accumulating wealth to making a positive impact. 3. Live simply. Embrace a lifestyle that values contentment and simplicity over material excess. This helps reduce the temptation to place undue importance on wealth. 4. Prioritize integrity. Make decisions based on ethical principles and righteousness, even if it means foregoing financial gain. Trust that God will honor your integrity and provide for your needs. 5. Trust in God's provision. Believe that God will meet your needs according to His riches and glory. This trust alleviates the anxiety that often accompanies financial concerns. Another story of someone who thrived by putting their faith in God. Meet Grace, a woman who experienced the transformative power of trusting in God over wealth. Grace had a successful career in finance and enjoyed a comfortable lifestyle. However, she often felt anxious about her financial future and constantly sought ways to increase her wealth. One day, Grace attended a church service where the pastor spoke about Proverbs 11 verse 28. The message resonated deeply with her, and she realized that her trust had been misplaced in her financial security rather than in God. Determined to make a change, Grace began to shift her focus. She started by deepening her spiritual practices, spending more time in prayer and studying the Bible. Grace also made a conscious effort to live more simply, reducing unnecessary expenses and focusing on what truly mattered. She began to give generously to her church and various charitable organizations, trusting that God would provide for her needs. As Grace's trust in God grew, she experienced a profound sense of peace and contentment. Her anxiety about finances diminished, and she found joy in helping others and living a life of purpose. Over time, Grace's career continued to flourish, but her sense of security was no longer tied to her wealth. She thrived like a green leaf, rooted in her faith and righteousness. Grace's story is a powerful testament to the truth of Proverbs 11 verse 28. By placing her trust in God rather than in material wealth, she found stability, growth, and true prosperity. Her journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that trusting in God leads to a life of flourishing and fulfillment. 8. 1 Timothy 6 verse 10. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. 1 Timothy 6 verse 10 is a well-known verse that addresses the dangers of prioritizing money over spiritual and moral values. The verse clarifies that it is not money itself that is inherently evil, but the love of money. This excessive desire for wealth can lead individuals to engage in unethical behavior and make decisions that compromise their faith and integrity. The verse warns that those who are eager for money may stray from their spiritual path and ultimately experience sorrow and regret. Practical application. The dangers of loving money too much. The practical application of this verse is to be mindful of the potential pitfalls of loving money too much. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Prioritize spiritual values. Ensure that your spiritual and moral values take precedence over the pursuit of wealth. Regularly reflect on your priorities and make adjustments as needed to keep your focus on what truly matters. 2. Practice contentment. Cultivate a sense of contentment with what you have. Recognize that true fulfillment comes from relationships, purpose, and spiritual growth, rather than material possessions. 3. Avoid greed. Be aware of the signs of greed and take steps to counteract it. This may include setting limits on your spending, giving generously to others, and practicing gratitude for the blessings you already have. 4. Seek balance. Strive for a balanced approach to work and wealth. While it is important to work hard and provide for yourself and your family, it is equally important to maintain a healthy work-life balance and not let the pursuit of money consume your life. 5. Stay grounded in faith. Regularly engage in spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, and studying the scriptures. These practices can help you stay grounded in your faith and resist the temptation to prioritize money over your spiritual well-being. A true life story. A cautionary tale of someone who lost their way due to greed. Meet Alex, a man who once had a strong faith and a deep commitment to his spiritual values. Alex started his career with a clear sense of purpose and integrity, but as he climbed the corporate ladder, he became increasingly focused on accumulating wealth. The allure of financial success and the desire for more led him to make compromises that he never would have considered before. Alex began to engage in unethical business practices, cutting corners and exploiting others to maximize his profits. His love for money overshadowed his spiritual values, and he gradually drifted away from his faith. Despite his growing wealth, Alex felt a deep sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction. He found himself constantly chasing after more, but no amount of money could fill the void in his heart. One day, Alex faced a major financial crisis that threatened to ruin his business. As he grappled with the consequences of his actions, he realized how far he had strayed from his original values. The grief and regret he experienced were overwhelming, and he felt the weight of the many sorrows he had brought upon himself. Determined to turn his life around, Alex sought forgiveness and began to rebuild his relationship with God. He made amends for his past actions and committed to living a life of integrity and faith. Over time, Alex found peace and fulfillment, not in his wealth, but in his renewed faith and the positive impact he could make on others. Alex's story is a powerful reminder of the dangers of loving money too much. By prioritizing wealth over spiritual values, he experienced the very griefs warned about in 1 Timothy 6 verse 10. His journey serves as a cautionary tale and an inspiration to others to keep their focus on what truly matters and to trust in God's provision. 9. Matthew 6 verse 33. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6 verse 33 is a profound teaching from Jesus during his Sermon on the Mount. This verse emphasizes the importance of prioritizing God's kingdom and his righteousness above all else. Jesus instructs his followers to focus on spiritual pursuits and living according to God's will. The promise attached to this command is that when we seek God's kingdom first, all our needs will be met. This means that God will provide for our physical, emotional, and spiritual needs when we prioritize our relationship with Him and live righteously. Practical application. Prioritizing God's kingdom. The practical application of this verse involves making a conscious decision to put God first in every aspect of our lives. Here are some ways to apply this principle. 1. Daily devotion. Start each day with prayer, Bible study, and meditation. This helps to align your thoughts and actions with God's will and sets a spiritual foundation for the day. 2. Align your goals with God's will. Evaluate your personal and professional goals to ensure they align with God's principles. Seek His guidance in your decision-making process and be willing to adjust your plans according to His direction. 3. Serve others. Engage in acts of service and kindness. By helping others and contributing to your community, you reflect God's love and prioritize His kingdom. 4. Live righteously. Strive to live a life of integrity, honesty, and moral uprightness. Make choices that honor God and reflect His righteousness in your daily interactions. 5. Trust in God's provision. Have faith that God will provide for your needs as you focus on His kingdom. This trust alleviates worry and allows you to concentrate on spiritual growth and service. A story of the testimony of someone who found prosperity by seeking God first. Meet Rachel, a woman who experienced the transformative power of seeking God's kingdom first. Rachel had always been ambitious and driven, working tirelessly to climb the corporate ladder and achieve financial success. Despite her efforts, she often felt unfulfilled and anxious about her future. One Sunday, Rachel attended a church service where the pastor preached on Matthew 6 verse 33. The message struck a chord with her, and she realized that she had been prioritizing her career and financial goals over her relationship with God. Determined to make a change, Rachel decided to put God first in her life. She began by dedicating time each morning to prayer and Bible study, seeking God's guidance and wisdom. Rachel also started volunteering at her church and participating in community service projects. She made a conscious effort to live righteously, making ethical decisions in her personal and professional life. As Rachel focused on seeking God's kingdom, she noticed a significant shift in her life. Her anxiety diminished, and she felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. Opportunities for career advancement began to present themselves, and she experienced financial blessings that she hadn't anticipated. More importantly, Rachel found joy in her relationship with God and in serving others. Rachel's story is a powerful testament to the truth of Matthew 6 verse 33. By prioritizing God's kingdom and His righteousness, she experienced not only material prosperity but also spiritual and emotional fulfillment. Her journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that when we seek God first, He faithfully provides for all our needs. 10. Philippians 4 verse 19. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4 verse 19 is a powerful promise from the Apostle Paul, assuring believers that God will provide for all their needs. This verse comes in the context of Paul's letter to the Philippians, where he commends them for their generosity and support of his ministry. Paul emphasizes that God's provision is not limited by human constraints but is according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. This means that God's resources are infinite and His ability to provide is boundless. The verse reassures believers that when they trust in God and live according to His will, He will meet their needs abundantly. Practical application. Trusting God to provide for your needs. The practical application of this verse involves developing a deep trust in God's provision and relying on His promises. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Cultivate faith. Strengthen your faith through regular prayer, Bible study, and meditation. Trust that God is aware of your needs and is faithful to provide for them. 2. Practice generosity. Just as the Philippians supported Paul, practice generosity by giving to others and supporting your community. Trust that God will replenish what you give and bless you in return. 3. Live with contentment. Learn to be content with what you have, knowing that God will provide for your needs. Avoid the constant pursuit of material possessions and focus on spiritual growth. 4. Seek God's guidance. In times of need, seek God's guidance and wisdom. Pray for His direction and trust that He will lead you to the right opportunities and resources. 5. Share your testimony. Encourage others by sharing how God has provided for you in the past. Your testimony can inspire faith and trust in God's provision. Listen to this story of miraculous provision. Meet Emily, a single mother who experienced God's miraculous provision in her time of need. Emily worked hard to provide for her 2 children, but despite her efforts, she often struggled to make ends meet. One month, Emily faced an unexpected medical bill that she couldn't afford to pay. She felt overwhelmed and didn't know how she would cover the expense. In her distress, Emily turned to prayer. She poured out her heart to God, asking for His help and provision. She remembered the promise in Philippians 4 verse 19 and clung to the belief that God would meet her needs. Emily also shared her situation with her church community, asking for their prayers and support. A few days later, Emily received an unexpected letter in the mail. It was from a local charity organization that she had never heard of before. The letter informed her that she had been selected to receive a financial grant to cover her medical expenses. Emily was astonished and overjoyed. She knew that this provision was a direct answer to her prayers. Emily's story is a powerful testament to the truth of Philippians 4 verse 19. By trusting in God's provision and seeking His guidance, she experienced a miraculous answer to her needs. Her journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that God is faithful to provide for His children according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. 11. Malachi 3 verse 10. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. Malachi 3 verse 10 is a powerful verse that emphasizes the importance of tithing and the blessings that come from it. In this verse, God challenges His people to bring the full tithe into the storehouse, which was a place where the Israelites stored their offerings of grain, wine, and oil. The purpose of the tithe was to provide for the needs of the priests and Levites who served in the temple, as well as to support the work of the temple itself. God's challenge to test me in this is unique because it is one of the few instances in the Bible where God invites His people to test Him. He promises that if they are faithful in their tithing, He will open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be enough room to store it. This promise highlights God's abundant provision and His desire to bless those who are obedient and faithful in their giving. Practical application. The blessings of tithing. The practical application of this verse involves understanding the significance of tithing and experiencing the blessings that come from it. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Commit to tithing. Make a commitment to give a tenth of your income to your local church or a ministry that aligns with your values. This act of obedience demonstrates your trust in God's provision and your willingness to support His work. 2. Trust God's promise. Believe in God's promise that He will provide for your needs when you are faithful in your giving. Trust that He will bless you abundantly, both materially and spiritually. 3. Give with a cheerful heart. Approach tithing with a joyful and willing heart. Recognize that giving is an act of worship and a way to express gratitude for God's blessings in your life. 4. Observe the impact. Pay attention to the ways in which God blesses you as you faithfully tithe. These blessings may come in various forms, such as financial provision, opportunities, or spiritual growth. 5. Encourage others. Share your testimony of God's faithfulness in your life with others. Encourage them to experience the blessings of tithing by sharing how God has provided for you. Here's another story of a testimony of someone who experienced God's blessings through tithing. Meet Linda, a woman who experienced God's abundant blessings through her faithful tithing. Linda had always been a faithful churchgoer, but she struggled with the concept of tithing. She often worried about her finances and felt that she couldn't afford to give a tenth of her income. One Sunday, Linda's pastor preached on Malachi 3 verse 10 and challenged the congregation to test God by committing to tithing for 3 months. Inspired by the message, Linda decided to take the challenge. She began to faithfully tithe a tenth of her income, even though it required her to make some adjustments to her budget. As Linda continued to tithe, she noticed remarkable changes in her life. She received an unexpected promotion at work, which came with a significant salary increase. Additionally, she found that her expenses seemed to decrease, and she was able to save more money than before. Linda also experienced a deeper sense of peace and contentment, knowing that she was honoring God with her finances. Linda's story is a powerful testimony to the truth of Malachi 3 verse 10. By trusting in God's promise and faithfully tithing, she experienced His abundant provision and blessings. Her journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that when we honor God with our giving, He is faithful to pour out blessings beyond measure. 12. Luke 6:38. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Luke 6 verse 38 is a profound teaching from Jesus that emphasizes the principle of generosity and the reciprocal nature of giving. In this verse, Jesus encourages His followers to give generously, assuring them that their generosity will be rewarded abundantly. The imagery of a good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over illustrates the overflowing blessings that come from giving. This measure was a common practice in ancient marketplaces, where sellers would ensure that the buyer received a full and generous portion. Jesus uses this metaphor to convey that when we give, we will receive back in abundance, reflecting the measure of our generosity. Practical application. The principle of giving and receiving. The practical application of this verse involves embracing the principle of giving and trusting in God's promise of reciprocal blessings. Here are some ways to apply this principle in your life. 1. Practice generosity. Make a habit of giving to others, whether through financial support, time, or acts of kindness. Recognize that generosity is a reflection of God's love and a way to bless others. 2. Give with a cheerful heart. Approach giving with joy and willingness, rather than out of obligation. A cheerful heart enhances the impact of your generosity and aligns with the spirit of Jesus' teaching. 3. Trust in God's provision. Have faith that God will provide for your needs as you give to others. Trust that He will bless you abundantly, both materially and spiritually, in response to your generosity. 4. Be mindful of your measure. Consider the measure you use when giving. Be generous and open-hearted, knowing that the same measure will be used in return to bless you. 5. Encourage a culture of generosity. Inspire others to give by sharing your experiences and the blessings you have received through generosity. Create a ripple effect of giving within your community. Here's a true ace story of generosity and its rewards. Meet Samuel, a man who experienced the transformative power of generosity. Samuel owned a small business and was known for his kind and giving nature. Despite his modest income, he always found ways to help those in need, whether it was through financial support, offering his time, or providing resources. One winter, a severe storm hit Samuel's town, causing significant damage to many homes and businesses. Samuel's own business was affected, and he faced financial challenges. Despite his situation, Samuel continued to give generously to his community, helping those who were even more affected by the storm. As word of Samuel's generosity spread, the community rallied around him. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers came together to support Samuel in his business. They donated money, offered their time to help with repairs, and provided resources to get his business back on its feet. Samuel was overwhelmed by the outpouring of support and realized that his generosity had come full circle. The blessings he had given to others were now being returned to him in abundance. His business not only recovered but thrived, and Samuel continued to be a beacon of generosity in his community. Samuel's story is a powerful testament to the truth of Luke 6 verse 38. By giving generously and trusting in God's provision, he experienced the overflowing blessings promised by Jesus. His journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that when we give with a cheerful heart, we receive back in abundance, reflecting the measure of our generosity. 13. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6. Remember this, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6 uses the agricultural metaphor of sowing and reaping to illustrate the principle of generosity. The Apostle Paul is encouraging the Corinthians to give generously, reminding them that the amount they give will directly influence the blessings they receive in return. Just as a farmer who plants only a few seeds will harvest a small crop, those who give sparingly will receive limited blessings. Conversely, those who sow generously will reap abundant blessings. This verse emphasizes the reciprocal nature of giving and the importance of a generous heart. Practical application. The law of sowing and reaping. The practical application of this verse involves understanding and embracing the law of sowing and reaping in our lives. Here are some ways to apply this principle. 1. Give generously. Make a habit of giving generously, whether it is through financial contributions, time, or acts of kindness. Recognize that your generosity will lead to abundant blessings in various forms. 2. Sow with intention. Be intentional about where and how you give. Invest your resources in causes and people that align with your values and where you can make a meaningful impact. 3. Trust in God's provision. Have faith that God will provide for your needs as you give generously. Trust that He will multiply your efforts and bless you abundantly. 4. Celebrate the harvest. Acknowledge and celebrate the blessings you receive as a result of your generosity. Recognize that these blessings are a reflection of the seeds you have sown. 5. Encourage others. Inspire others to practice generosity by sharing your experiences and the blessings you have received. Create a culture of giving within your community. Here's a true story of a testimony of abundant harvest through generous giving. Meet David, a man who experienced the abundant blessings of generous giving. David owned a small business and was known for his generosity. Despite his modest income, he always found ways to support his community, whether it was through financial donations, volunteering his time, or offering his services for free. One year, David's business faced significant financial challenges. Sales were down, and he struggled to cover his expenses. Despite his situation, David continued to give generously, trusting in God's provision. He believed in the principle of sowing and reaping and remained committed to helping others. As David continued to give, he began to notice remarkable changes. His business started to receive unexpected orders and new clients. Word of his generosity spread, and people were eager to support his business. Within a few months, David's business not only recovered but thrived. He experienced an abundant harvest, far beyond what he had imagined. David's story is a powerful testament to the truth of 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6. By sowing generously, he reaped abundant blessings. His journey serves as an inspiration to others, demonstrating that when we give with a generous heart, we receive back in abundance, reflecting the measure of our generosity. 14. Deuteronomy 8 verse 18. Deuteronomy 8 verse 18 reminds us that it is God who grants us the ability to generate wealth. This verse emphasizes that our success and prosperity are not solely the result of our efforts, intelligence, or hard work, but rather the blessings and empowerment from God. It also highlights that God's provision is a fulfillment of His covenant promises made to our ancestors. Practical application. Recognizing God as the source of wealth. 1. Gratitude. Always thank God for the opportunities and resources He provides. Acknowledge His role in your achievements. 2. Humility. Understand that wealth is not a result of your merit alone. Stay humble and give credit to God. 3. Generosity. Use your wealth to help others, reflecting God's generosity towards you. 4. Stewardship. Manage your resources wisely, knowing that they are gifts from God to be used for His glory. Here's a true story of acknowledging God's role and success. John's journey to success. John was a young entrepreneur with a dream to start his own tech company. He worked tirelessly, often burning the midnight oil to develop his innovative software. Despite his hard work, success seemed elusive. One day, during a moment of reflection, John remembered the teachings of Deuteronomy 8 verse 18. He realized that he had been relying solely on his own strength and had not acknowledged God's role in his journey. John decided to change his approach. He began each day with prayer, asking for God's guidance and wisdom. He also started giving back to his community, sharing his resources with those in need. Slowly but surely, things began to change. His business started to grow, attracting investors and clients. John knew that this turnaround was not just due to his efforts but was a blessing from God. As his company flourished, John continued to recognize God's hand in his success. He remained humble, grateful, and generous, always remembering that it was God who gave him the ability to produce wealth. John's story is a testament to the truth of Deuteronomy 8 verse 18 and the importance of acknowledging God's role in our lives. 15. Psalm 112 verse 3. Psalm 112 verse 3 highlights the blessings that come to those who live righteously. The verse states that wealth and riches are in their houses, indicating that material prosperity often accompanies a life devoted to God. However, it also emphasizes that true wealth is not just material but includes enduring righteousness. This righteousness is a lasting legacy that reflects a life of integrity and faithfulness to God's commands. Practical application. The connection between righteousness and wealth. 1. Faithfulness. Stay committed to God's principles in all aspects of life. This faithfulness often leads to blessings, including material prosperity. 2. Integrity. Conduct your business and personal affairs with honesty and integrity. This builds trust and can lead to long-term success. 3. Generosity. Share your blessings with others. Generosity is a key aspect of righteous living and can lead to further blessings. 4. Contentment. Recognize that true wealth includes spiritual and moral integrity, not just material possessions. Here's a story of a testimony of enduring wealth through righteous living. Mary's legacy of integrity. Mary was a successful businesswoman known for her integrity and generosity. She always made sure her business practices were fair and honest, even when it meant making less profit. Mary believed in the teachings of Psalm 112 verse 3 and lived her life accordingly. One year, her company faced a significant financial challenge. Many advised her to cut corners and compromise her values to save the business. However, Mary refused to abandon her principles. She continued to trust in God's provision and remained committed to righteousness. Miraculously, her business not only survived but thrived. Clients appreciated her honesty and loyalty, leading to increased business and new opportunities. Mary's wealth grew, but more importantly, her reputation for integrity endured. She used her resources to support her community, helping those in need and investing in charitable projects. Mary's story is a powerful example of how living righteously can lead to enduring wealth and a lasting legacy. Her life reflects the truth of Psalm 112 verse 3, showing that true prosperity comes from a combination of material blessings and unwavering righteousness. Conclusively, throughout this teaching we've explored 15 powerful Bible verses that offer divine wisdom on moving from poverty to prosperity. Each verse provides not only spiritual insights but also practical steps to achieve financial success. As you reflect on these verses, I encourage you to apply their principles in your daily life. Embrace hard work, integrity, generosity, and faithfulness. Trust in God's provision and seek His kingdom first. By doing so, you can unlock the blessings and abundance that God has in store for you. Remember, true wealth isn't just about material possessions, it's about living a life of purpose, contentment, and generosity. May these verses inspire you to pursue a life of prosperity and to use your blessings to make a positive impact on the world. God bless you on your journey to financial freedom and abundance. Amen.